the last 3 months isn't just work through the tools and skills you can fill your organizing bucket with. What we've done is prove to the world that building a deep and meaningful movement in this time of pandemic is not only possible, but it is powerful, and it is beautiful, and it is the epitome of resilience. You're all woven into the fibers and the fabric and the DNA that is the Pacific Climate Warriors. And so it is with so much excitement that we celebrate this milestone today. Today's graduation may stretch our time limit, and we do not want to rush you. And that's also because we have some beautiful things lined up. We're going to let you spend some time with your base groups. It's important that we take time to thank each other and recognize the manner you have all held for one another, especially in this space. We're going to mark this milestone with cultural ceremony. Our award ceremony will be broken up into 3 sections with some special guests blessing us with some special pieces in between. And we're also blessed today to be joined by a council of elders who have been here throughout these last few months in many ways, both seen and unseen. But today really is about looking back. It's about being thankful for the journey we've just been on, and it's about celebrating the milestone we're currently at. And so before I do break us up into some of our base groups, on behalf of the design team, on behalf of the Secretariat, and on behalf of the Council of Elders, I really would like to again welcome you all to this, your graduation day. And so what's going to happen now is that we're going to split you up into your groups, and then we're just going to go around sharing some of the love. The prompt we have for this section is the mana I see in you is, and what I want you to do is think of the different ways you've all held each other over the last 3 months and celebrate those ways and each other with gratitude. And it seems like we may have some orphans. So I will put some groups together if that's okay. We are all one big family, but we'll still have enough time to just be able to go around. Okay, we'll see you back here in about 15 minutes.
Mr. Burgunaka, and thank you. Big congratulations to you all on graduating today. This Yangona presentation is to honor your participation during the PPUF, and it's been a long journey, and the design team wanted to honor you all by presenting this Yangona to you, and it's only fitting that Jenny is here with us to accept the Yangona on all of on your behalf. Nak, ya, amantar mchuna kwa pagawani.
Thank you to the design team. Well wishes from all the graduates.
Bola. Sige, kalau kata ke kalau nggak takut na tanpa berapa Pasifika. Agak macam orang berapa mana? Bina value, and thank you once again. And congratulations on graduating today. And now I'll hand you over to Mac, who will take us through an interfaith prayer.
That was beautiful. Thank you, G, for the presentation, and Jenny for accepting that on our behalf. I want to thank everyone for this opportunity to offer these words, and I want to honor that we all come from different religious backgrounds, spirituality, or none at all. And with that, these words are for everybody. You know, what a beautiful opportunity it is that we're presented to create a way to invoke words of thanksgiving, affirmation, and forgiveness. Prayer is a word that's long been associated with organized religion, spirituality, and for some of us, it's a painful history. However, the characteristics and foundation of prayer predate the practice. And if we just focus on the practices of thanksgiving, hope, faith, affirmation, forgiveness, and perseverance, we can create a collective space that then allows us to take those practices into every part of our life with or without prayer. Example of faith is Dr. Martin Luther King said that faith is taking the next step even when you don't see the whole staircase. And so for us, faith might be something like sliding in the DM and telling somebody you like them and hoping that they like you back. Or for Thanksgiving, for example, my mom once told me that I'll never be a good prayer if I don't know what I'm thankful for in life. This usually comes out when she's like mad at me. She's scolding me is when she says those things. Being thankful doesn't require prayer. It requires acknowledgement of another person, place, or experiences to open up and see what's present before us or before you, for example, to be present, to recognize the present allows us to be thankful for presence. Lastly, forgiveness and perseverance are a practice that allow us to move forward in harmony. In a lot of our island practices, we believe that it's very hard to progress without harmony. And when someone's off key, we need to make adjustments for consensus. Forgiveness isn't just the act of saying sorry, it's also the practice of adjustment, right? So if me and Joe Moyono Kolio and I are singing a song and I'm off key because Joe's playing the song too high, Joe and I have an opportunity to forgive each other for being in different spaces and to readjust to find a new path towards harmony. So adjustment is at its best when forgiveness allows us to find our song in the key of life, hashtag Stevie Wonder. So what I need you to do right now really quick is, like Joe said, to bring out a piece of paper and a pen, and you got 15 seconds to do this because we want to be in the present. So on your piece of paper, you're going to write what you're thankful for at this present time. And because it's in the present, you got 10 seconds to write it down. And when you're done, you're going to show your word to everybody on the screen. This is an example. I'm counting down. You got like 7 seconds left. Be in the present. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we can all show that word to each other. The thing that we're thankful for. Love it. Love, family, supportive team, warmth, my friends, PCW, lots of family, Benny. I love it. My boys. Yeah. All right. That's really cool. So that's one way we can do it when we do the written word. Another thing we can do is just do this internally. So think about the different ways you think of yourself and the adjustments you want to make after participating in Power Up. And you can just think about that to yourself for about 10 seconds. We'll give you some time to think about what adjustments you want to make after participating in the Power Up Fellowship. Sweet. And then the last part is you can shout out, unmute yourself and shout out a word, and just shout out something that you're hopeful to see from your cohort that's in unforeseen future and that lies ahead of everybody. So I can just say, well wishes, good health. And feel free to unmute yourself and say it out loud.
Growth. Healing.
Change.
Harmony.
Staying connected.
Action.
More people.
Relationships.
Power.
Action. Oh, sorry, what?
Cool. We'll take a few more. You got 1 or 2 more in us? All right, that's good. That was a great list of words for adjustment. So Now just take a few seconds to yourself and those thoughts and the words, and you can put them out there wherever you want, to a higher power, to people, or a feeling, or nowhere at all. So we want to thank you for participating. Remember, when we're present and we're thoughtful and in harmony, we're at our best. So now, to continue this theme of Thanksgiving and gratitude, we want to welcome someone who exemplifies the meaning of gratitude. Without further ado, we invite Fenton to the screen to continue the program. Thank you.
Bulvanaka, and before we get started today, I want to wish everyone Eid Mubarak, and to my Muslim family on here, may Allah reward you with goodness. Vinakvaklevu Mak, thank you so much for that opening and for grounding us in both ritual and in gratitude. And I think that's the place from which I hope to start off this morning. In preparing our thank you note to each of you, the graduating cohort of the 2020 Pacific Power Up Fellowship, it made us ponder about a few things. And so on behalf of the design team, I would really love to share with you our thoughts on where our minds wandered. I also would like to apologize in advance if they are a little bit all over the place. First of all, thank you very much. Thank you for pacing with us this last 3 months. That's a quarter of your 2020 that you chose to show up, not just on Saturdays, but in doing your take-home assignments, in choosing to stay in community with your base groups. You showed up and answered the call to recalibrate and to be responsive to our times. Thank you for supporting everyone else on this journey with us. Thank you for supporting us to build the muscles we need to build our resilience for future crises, such as the times we're living in right now. Thank you for participating in this practice of future building, and also in this practice of deep care work, which we oftentimes don't talk about enough. I am sure that you've heard this many times before. As a secretariat, we said we would much rather do these types of trainings face-to-face. The gift of being in community with each other, physically in our bodies, is irreplaceable. The gift of being able to articulate together, reimagine together, move together, and witness firsthand together how our energies relate to each other is always, always, always the preference. And in the absence of that opportunity, we really want to thank you again for pacing with us as we tried to do what we could with what we had. We as the design team have been inspired by each and every one of you and how you have all chosen to show up to this fellowship. With our way of working over the last 3 months, being at our laptops and just having our voices come through our headphones has definitely been different. And often there's this assumption that because it's different, it's less intimate. But to have you, your voice, your energy, your mana, to have that show up every single weekend has been more than enough. And it's simply because your voice and everything that it carries, especially in an online format, has helped us realize that the Pacific voice is the body and it's magical. So thank you for reminding us about that. We often forget that in our cultures, we are immersed in how language is embodied. Love is communicated in service, right? We cook and we do what G did this morning. We serve kava, we reach deep into the soil to feed our communities. We heal each other with touch. We pick sacred medicine from old branches. And we also sit at our laptops for 3 months and give each other our attention. And in many, many powerful ways. Our body thus becomes the ultimate witness to love. And we all want to thank you for being powerful channels of that love and doing the work to translate that love in this online space. Through the body and through your presence, we have been able to transcend this Zoom app and understand a different way of relationality right now. And you have all taught us that this is how we need to approach our organizing in times of crisis. We need to seek out things we can hold and care for and figure out how to love differently, how to see each other as bridges, because at the end of the day, we're all participants, all part of the cohort of the future we're building towards. To Makarusa, to Brianna, to Jacinta, and the rest of the Council of Elders, on behalf of the design team, we want to thank you for your steadfast commitment to grounding us in ritual and in care, constantly reminding us to tend to others and ourselves, because spirituality, our relationality, our sense of community begins with care rooted in physical bodies, care rooted in energy preservation across distance, and in care to choose depth over Zoom. Thank you for pushing us to ask ourselves, how do we do this work in an online space with care? In many Pacific Island households, we take off our shoes before we enter. We take off our shoes to enter something important, to give our best selves. We teach our bodies to be deliberate. In joining this cause every weekend, thank you for reminding us to take off the shoes of our voices as we enter this space with care in order to do the work we need to do. Thank you for showing us the gifts of intention. Beyond gratitude, we as the design team would also love to share with you some learnings that we took away from being with each of you. These are mere offerings that we want to leave with you as you sort of take what you have learned over the last 3 months and apply them to your roles as organizers, campaigners, strategic thinkers, storytellers, and Pacific climate warriors. So here's a list of 4 things that we know to be true. 1, remember that from the get-go, we serve, right? How we greet each other in all our Pacificness is a signal of our service. Our greetings always say more than just hello, how's it going, right? We say bula, iogwe, kaselelia. We greet each other with wishes of health, good life, prosperity, and love. We greet each other with the recognition that from the get-go, if you and I are going to be in relationship with each other, we will endeavor to serve you by honoring you and by seeing you. And our hope is that you never stop seeing each other's humanity, especially when it's very difficult to do so. 2, our stories are important. And when our stories are shared intentionally, we will change the world and the trajectory that we are on. Know who you are and why you were called at this point in time to do this work. 5 years from now, each of us will tell stories to recalibrate our past, how we made sense of navigating this health crisis and this climate crisis. Stories are carried in our bodies and edited each time we breathe our voice into it. This is what our mothers and old people have gifted us with. Our stories are our power, and relationality, our strength. In time of fake news and sensationalism in online spaces, our hope is that you can be truth-wielding storytellers. 3, this work on climate justice is complex and it's hard and it can be very overwhelming. It can also be very beautiful, it can be magical, and it can be liberating. Our lives are full of nuance and contradictions. Use that truth as your teacher. Claim your multiple truths never shy away from nuance, and live your life with intention. There are many ways to do a thing. Never stop taking risks and trying new ways. Everything you hope for is beyond your personal learning edge. 4, and finally, there are very 2 short stories that I wanted to share with you. One I really heard for the first time last week, and the other I've sort of grown up around. The first one is about Moses, and it's about how he was looking after his flock in the land of Midian. And he came across this bush that was on fire, but not actually burning. There's a whole thing about this story that I probably won't go into, but what I did learn from hearing this story for the first time last week was that Moses was called to do something incredible, and he immediately questioned his ability to do it. He said, oh man, I'm simply not worthy. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. But then in his sort of fear, Moses was asked a simple question: what is in your hand? And since I heard this story a few days ago, I've been reflecting a lot on how we show up to a thing, right? How we show up to a thing that we're called to do. We have a choice. We can either choose to operate from a space of scarcity or choose to operate from a space of abundance. Do we look at what we don't have and can't access, or we look down at what is in our hand and make the most of it? Our hope as a design team is that with whatever you faced in your journey as a Pacific Climate Warrior, that you'll always find moments to be reminded of what is in your hand. And the other story really speaks to my obsession with time travel and how we approach our hearts and our lives. It's the story of Noah's Ark. And I think for me, it's a prompt for us to think about what we carry into the vessel of the future. In times of a pandemic, in times of this climate crisis, how do we not only prepare for a thing and adapt to it, but more importantly, how do we vision together for the future and thrive beyond it? I believe that's where our thinking needs to be. In the vessel of the future, what are we preserving? Thank you for giving me your attention. Thank you for allowing me the space to articulate out loud our gratitude to each and every one of you for being here and for gifting us with your presence. And with that said, I'll hand over to George Nadewa, who will lead us in the first process of our graduation. Again, congratulations, Binaka.
Binaka Liwu Fenton, thank you so much for those words of gratitude to the graduates. Before I begin, I want to start us off with a few words. So organizing is the heartbeat of this work. And in order to build the world we envision, we have to build bridges, build communities, and most importantly, building trust in relationships. These tools you have been exposed to over the last 3 months, use them to help you build and shape your group. Look back on the resources we've created together, and also look back at the people you created them with. Your greatest resources in this work will be each other. And it's with great pleasure that I introduce the first of graduates. And just so you know, we'll be doing this in alphabetical order. And our first round of graduates are Carlo, Lafanatani, Deborah, Puhimona, Ray, Irie, Ina, Ainganga Lefili, Ernest, and Dana. You were all asked to bring a billo or something that represented one. our cover ceremony marked this milestone, and now it's your turn to consume from our shared cover bowl. So I'll invite you all to share your final reflections on this journey and how your below has been filled and how you hope to fill others below. So after you share for 2 to 3 minutes, I will invite the next person to share. I now invite Carlo to share.
Malo fam. Apologies for being late. O ko kore ke hupanga e tala malu o le faleni, malo mau whainga marie. O ko fia ke whakahako at aileani, pia mo whakahako e whatongia mahu inani, and apologies. There are people in my house, so if it's noisy, it's because they're walking around. I again apologize for being late today. Life is continuing around us, and so although I'm sad that this fellowship is coming to an end, I'm also happy because it is time. I've learned so much from this fellowship, and in this short time, I want to tell a quick story because as Fenton said, there is power within your story, and there's power within when you are speaking your truth. So the ipukava I have and that I'm holding is very special. It was given to my other half when he graduated from university by my beautiful Balangi mother. So it's very special because I never got one from her, but she gave him one, so that's interesting. And on it, it says, Malo e ako Madaki Helotu, that's his whole name, don't hate me. And it means, thank you for completing your studies. And I think this is a beautiful reminder that we never stop learning, and that it's never too late to upskill or learn more. I have filled my ipukava with poto, or wisdom, ilo, or knowledge, gatakilahi, or perseverance, and to'a, or courage, because our work can be so challenging and testing, but this fellowship has provided space to grow and develop. I'm really grateful for my Wellington team, Mary, who sends her apologies, and Lofa, Korojo. I actually think I'm the only one from Te Whanganui Atara right now, but that's okay. And I'm so grateful also to the Pacific Power Rangers team. Woo! It's really been awesome to get to know you all. I'm not gonna delete the group chat. We're just gonna stay like friends through chat so that we can keep chatting with each other. And that's it. I don't have anything else to say. So malo pito ofa mo bahe ilo ofa tu fam. So much pressure to go first.
Thank you for sharing, Carlo. I now invite Lofanatani.
Hello, y'all. How's it going? I just want to say malo apito to everyone, to my team, to everyone on this chat for coming every week and like reminding me for everything. Kind of forgot what I prepared, but let's see. One big thing that I learned and was reminded of was the importance of community and the reminder to reach out and the power of asking for help. I usually stick to my own and like stay pretty independent and not asking anybody for help because usually there's not a lot of help in my university and there's not a lot. I mean, there is, but it's just like mostly do your thing, get your degree and get out. And so it was nice to just be in this space with people who are like-minded, who are intentional, who are rooted, and like just reminded me to like have those values as well and to cherish friendships and to keep those going because I like to cut people off as well. So so I just appreciate y'all very much. And especially while all this is going on, just like reminding me that we're all connected, reminding me that I can reach out, reminded me that, I don't know, everybody wears really cute fits. So like I had to like just do it up a little bit today. So I appreciate y'all, even if I couldn't remember everything that I wanted to say, just know that I hope we meet in person sometime because we could like go tear it up, go protest, go make art, do whatever. So malo apitos for everyone, Sabkecha, and thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Lofanitani. I now invite Uhimoana.
What's up, everybody?
I'll make it as quick as possible. Yeah, I'm not really a public speaker kind of guy. Even behind the screen, this is scary, yo. Okay, I'll start off. I think I'm super grateful to be a part of this space, especially being new to the movement and stuff like that. It's been so cool and just what's it called? Inspiring just to be in the same space as you guys and just to learn a whole lot from you. I'm super grateful for my mum Jay and my auntie Flo and the sister Anna as well. Thanks for the support and all that kind of stuff. But I think I just can't wait to do more inspiring work with you guys and to make waves in this space with the youth, spreading awareness and yeah, just doing our thing. But yeah, thank you so much to the Secretariat, the Council of Elders, and everyone else. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Puhimoana. I now invite Irie.
Good morning, everyone. So first of all, a big lolomas and thank you to the design team for creating this space for us all to come together. So like, you know, coming together once a week, I feel like it has been such a privilege to sit and learn from a young cohort of leaders in this Pacific Power Up Fellowship, as well as learning key strategies and, you know, effective ways to leverage tools during times such as this pandemic. The power of storytelling, which has filled my bilo. One of the most important pieces I will be taking away is what George mentioned, is that people are incredible resources. So I'll be taking you all with me. And I'll be continuing this practice of sitting and learning from others. So where I'm from in Chuuk, this is referred to as Noos. It translates to the learning mat. So in this really unique experience, I'm living with a really, really strong mix of kava, which is all of you, because I've learned so much and I'm taking so much from each one of you. And I hope to pass that on to everyone that I meet in this space. One other thing is that I feel, and I've discussed with my base group member, Ernest, who I will miss, but I know our group chat will be there always, is that everything that we've learnt, won't be just used in this climate space, we'll be using it in all of the community spaces and the work that we do in the future. So that's probably another thing that will be reflecting on and I'm so appreciative of as well. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Irie. I now invite Ina.
Kia ora nā koutou katoa whaolawhia atu te tūrosi ne kua whakataha mai ke mea nei. Whakau e ke he matua he langi hapa te take ia hatou tōla te kuhala he mahi nani whakatau o mai. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for journeying through what have been, you know, uncharted waters, very challenging times. I'm really grateful for the people that make this opportunity possible. And I think that this fellowship came at a very good time because I needed to be reminded of my why. I needed to find my grounding in foreign lands to gain perspective. And I also needed a reminder that I still have much to give and also so much more to learn. So this fellowship, I couldn't find a coconut shell here in the city, so I brought with me a woven basket, because each and every one of us is like the fibers of this basket. When we're woven together, we're so much stronger. And I've been filled with new chances to learn. I've been strengthened or been able to strengthen old and new connections. I now have a renewed sense of purpose and energy to journey on. So what I'd like to offer you, the fellow graduates, are a few proverbs. Firstly, from Wangahau Niue, my beautiful island of Niue, which roughly translates, when you prepare the months ago, and we've made it to the end of the fellowship, but hopefully not the end of our journey. Secondly, from Kukiairani, my mother's homeland, mo I te ko, mo I te ere. Hold on to what's important and significant and be strong. And lastly, life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes, just chances we've taken. So thank you for taking the chance to journey along with the rest of us. Oe tu loa whakawerangi.
Thank you for sharing, Emma. I now invite Ernest.
I genuinely was just saying I really don't want to have to go after that. But thank you everybody. I want to first off start by saying a big level to the design team, to the Council of Elders, and of course to the Kelly, to my Beyonce, Irie, and the rest of Destiny's Children. It's really been an absolute pleasure being around all of you. And I've really enjoyed sharing my Saturday, which is usually very uneventful, with all of you. My mother has a rule whenever she tells me I'm about to talk to somebody, she always says, say 3 things, because after 3, nobody's listening. So I've prepared 3 things that I've learned, which have filled my below, and hopefully I can share with the rest of the cohort. And the first one is, I've learned from this PUF appreciation, a newfound appreciation for the work that people in this region have done and continue to do in this fight that we have. But more importantly, the way it brings and enables space for people, younger people who are newer to the movement, to join. And I think that that is perhaps one of the most important things. In Ratuman, we have a word which is kalong, and kalong is often said at the beginning of big ceremonies, and it's basically this recognition of opening the doorway between the physical world and everything that's happened before us. And I think that that for me is really important as Pacific Islanders, that we are living our lives here in this physical world, but we're only living it as a result of all the work and triumphs of people who have gone before us. And I think we always need to recognize that. The second thing, we've learned skills that are tailored to this region. I am so unbelievably sick and tired of learning about what somebody did in America or somebody did in the UK. Because I think that we as Pacific Islanders have enough agency and enough commitment to be able to design our own paths. And I think that PUF has been a beaming example of this. And I really do want to commend the design team for this. And the last one is, whether you like it or not, you are now my family. There is nothing you can say or do that will enable you to run away from me. So I now welcome you into my family, into my space. And I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed and that we've been able to start this journey of life together. There's one thing that I will not miss, and it's the snacks that I've had to continually prepare, because now I'm probably 50 kilos heavier. And I will not regret, I will not miss stuffing my face with donuts every Saturday. And again, big vinakavaka level for Yaxi, everybody.
Thank you for sharing, Ernest. I now invite Dana.
And I was hoping I wasn't after, because I was just full of laughter and memories when you were talking. But first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for putting this together. And I just wanted to share just the fact that I am very young and that I felt very welcome in this space. And I'm so glad that I had this space here in this time of pandemic. And it showed me that even though in this time we did a lot of stuff outside, but we can also do a lot of stuff within our own home, within Zoom, within this space. And I would like to say this has given me so much hope, because I've got to see, not like outside, but also within this platform, that we can reach from all over the world, different islands, different people with different backgrounds, and just get together and share the wisdom and the experience that we have with each other. And it's been very inspiring to see and be a part of this fellowship. So I'd like to say thank you, Kalangan, and you will see me again in person it would happen. So I believe it will happen, and thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing, Dana. Ladies and gentlemen, our first round of graduates. Congratulations to you all. Congratulations on being successful participants of the first ever Pacific Power Up Fellowship. Now we're going to a performance break by our very own 350 Fiji coordinator, Mia Kami.
Hi everyone. Congratulations to the cohort on graduating with the fellowship. The song that I will be sharing is called Mana, and it's a song that I wrote. I think it's a very appropriate song for the occasion, especially in celebration of your achievement as fellows. And the song talks about storytelling, and so I think the song is very fitting for what you have all just completed, and I do hope that from this fellowship you're able to continue on as authentic storytellers, telling your true authentic stories with your own voices. So, thank you. Why do we accept definitions of how our people should be, based off of written accounts of a man that looks nothing like me? He could speak our language, but not from his heart. When he wrote our history, he set us apart. Abandoned and bruised, left alone in the dark. But I won't let that past define who I am. When I listen closely, I hear my ancestors chant. Tell our stories, redefine a past that was written for us before. Add a chapter, it's time to write a little more. Recast the future, it's time to let our story soar. This is my mana, my spirit, my soul. This is me. This is mana, this is me. So when did a textbook determine what makes me who I am? Pages that say nothing of the blood that was shed, the stolen resources and land. But there is still so much that we have yet to learn, hidden in the archives that they couldn't burn. It is rooted within us, look closely and you will see, you will see. So tell our stories, redefine a past that was written for us before. Add a chapter, it's time to write a lot more. Recast the future, it's time to let our story soar. This is my mana, my spirit, my soul. This is me. This is mana, this is me. She spoke to the ocean and she sang with the trees. She can be heard in the quiet whisper of the breeze. She is everything I aspire to be. She is mana, she lives in me. She spoke to the ocean and she sang with the trees. She can be heard in the quiet whisper of the breeze. She is everything I aspire to be. She is mana, she is me. So tell your stories, redefine a past that was written for us before. Add a chapter, it's time to write a lot more. forecast the future. It's time to let our story soar. This is my mana, my spirit, my soul. This is me. This is mana, this is me. This is mana, cause I wanna bring power back to my people. Wanna bring power back to my home. Yes, I can bring power back to my people. I can bring power back to my home. Yes, I will bring mana back to my people. I will bring mana back to my home. Yes, I can bring mana back to my people. I can bring mana back to the planet that I call home. Thank you, everyone.
Always get goosebumps when I hear Mia sing. Another shots to Mia for the beautiful performance. And yeah, we'll get right into it. So our stories have the ability to shift minds and hearts. This is why it is so important for you to look back at the different tools and platforms you have exposed to over the past 3 months and find ways to leverage those platforms and amplify your stories, to amplify your truths, and to amplify the work that happens on the ground. When we focus on the quality of our content and commitment to sharing authentic truths, we know the world will listen. This is the power of our work. This is the legacy you must. And just so you know, we're doing them in alphabetical order. Congratulations, Simeon, Kathy, Genevieve, Okalani, CK, Salome, Michael, Joseph, Mary, and Francis. You're all asked to bring a billow or something that represents one. Our cover ceremony marked the milestone, and now it's your turn to consume from our shared cover bowl. I invite you all to share your final reflections on this journey, how your billow has been filled, and how you hope to fill others' billows. I now invite Simeon.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on your time that you're calling in. I'm really thankful to be able to go on this journey with you all. And congratulations, graduating class of PUF 2020. And then I would like to give a shout out to my Powerpuff girls. So shout out to Jenny and Anna and some CK, and yeah, it's been really fun trying to get our stuff together and our try to do our homework and all of that other stuff. But what is it? I guess the cup that or that I'm using is a mason jar. One thing that's really nice about this is that it's definitely really sturdy and reliable, and I feel like that's something that has been really called from us in this time to be resilient and continue to also be reliable. I think in those times to really just step up and show up for our community, especially in this time of COVID. And so, yeah, I think that's one reflection there. Yeah, I feel like I'm almost somewhere in between to being a new person and a veteran, and kind of in this in between of just still getting to meet a lot of you and getting to reconnect. The thing that is always consistent is just the overflowing love that I get to experience, and that's one thing I'm always excited to share with any of our new warriors. And so that's one thing I was very excited to bring on Dana and Lafani Tani to be able to experience you all and really pour into them. And so that's one thing that I just want to say, yeah, shout out to the in-betweeners. But yeah, one thing that I wanted to really give a lot of thanks to you all and showing that love to us here in the States as we try to pour into others, and really trying to build out this legacy of young leaders who speak up for our communities. I really take that to heart, just because like in the States, there's so much here that tell us that we're invisible, and to really push back and like post these things for us to put our voices out there, and just seeing that both Dana and Tanya are already doing that is like really inspiring for me to know that I have so much support in this vision. And yeah, so I think that's, I don't know what I can offer, but I just really offer thanks for everything that you all have given me. I think like really echoing what Ernest has said, it's just like I feel really honored to be part of this family, and so just thanks. Yeah. Kailangan ko masiyonek and penalty.
Thank you for sharing, Simeon. I now invite Jenny.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Bula Vinaka, everyone. I've kept my bilo from the ceremony earlier. I just want to say that I'm so grateful for this opportunity given to be part of this fellowship, to learn and grow alongside the cohort and design team. And a special shout out, as Simeon did, to the most amazing base group, the PPUF Girls. Through our regular check-ins, encouragements, catch-ups, we supported and uplifted each other. And I'm taking so much from this experience, but especially the gift of family from all across the region. And I can't wait to meet everybody in person, which will definitely happen one day. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for sharing, Jenny. I now invite Okalani.
Okay. I wrote down what I'd had to say because I'm a very emotional person, and I feel like if I didn't write it down, I'd start crying. So please bear with me. Before I was invited to join Pacific Power Fellowship, I had been feeling a little lost. The part inside of me that burned for community, storytelling, and climate justice felt less like a flame and more so like a burning or glowing ember. In 2019, I had lost a loved one, and to this day, I am still recovering from the grief of their passing. Since then, I have felt withdrawn from things I had once deeply loved. But during these 3 months, this community has been nothing but patient, gentle, and encouraging. You have taught us the power of our voices when we stand united together as one. You have reminded me the impact you can make by sharing your unique story. You have taught me to be resilient in the face of adversity when nothing feels like it's working in my favor. And above all, you have reminded me why I fell in love with climate justice in the first place. Ha! In Samoan culture, we use the pu'ava, or bilo, in welcome ceremonies to scoop and serve the ava to high chief and visiting guests to honor them as a welcome into the village. Today, the pu'ava is symbolic for us. We are the pu'ava, and the love, encouragement, knowledge, skill sets, and mentoring we have received from our PCW family as the ava is the ava inside. It is my prayer and desire that we use this knowledge, skill sets, and mentoring that we have received over the past 3 months to teach and educate others that there is hope for our future generations. That there are warriors who will not stop until the voices are heard. That these warriors have banded together as one to declare that we are not drowning, we are fighting. It is my prayer that we, like the Hipu'awa, will pour our knowledge and our love out to others so that it may also fill up their ipu, just as the fellowship has filled up ours. Manuia.
Thank you, Nani. Now invite CK.
Hi. Oh, what did I say?
Whatever you want to say.
I just wanted to say I am always very grateful to step into the space with you guys. Every single time I come to these things, I take away more than I can bring, and it's always so good to see you guys and learn off you guys, and so I'm very grateful. And yeah, Minaka love ya. Yeah.
Thank you, CK, for sharing. Over to you, Salome.
Hello. Thank you to the Collie, to the design team for putting in, countless hours of work in order for us to be able to be in this space and for, building this safe space for us continuously. Thank you to everyone for showing up. Binaka love you so much. Every time I, attend anything to do with the PCWs, my ipu is always overfilled. It's always, overflowing. And when COVID first came about, I was honestly stuck. I was like, how do we do this? But, as always, PCW to the rescue, always paving the way, always showing us that we can do things our way no matter what the world throws at us. So I'm really, really grateful and blessed to have that with you all. Nani, thank you so much for that. Your words are so beautiful. And I think, when you bring in our Samoan culture, like I can really, really resonate, like it sits with me. And, I understand exactly what you're talking about. Please know that always sending you big love, and to the rest of the gang as well. Thank you to our new Mama J. So grateful to have a mom in here. But yeah, shout out to our papa up there, Joe, don't forget. But yeah, for real, honestly, love you guys. Thank you for everything. And thank you for just always, giving us the strength and the voice and the power that we need to power through everything that gets thrown at us. Love you guys. Boss gang.
Thank you, Lome. And I'll now invite Michael.
Bulavinaka, everyone. And first of all, let me start by just saying thank you to my team, Team Auckland, for the nomination. Special mention to BB and Chris for encouraging me that I can step away from my books and do reintegrate my knowledge into a space as such. I also want to express my heartfelt appreciation to the design team and the Council of Elders for their constant gift of sharing knowledge, their patience and their understanding with the whānau, and for always constantly uplifting us and bringing us into this space in such a meaningful and powerful way. I bring with me the cover bowl as well. And just like Lani said, and a fellow colleagues have mentioned that the bilo does signify a lot too in the Itoke culture, and its significance as well in outside spaces as well, where we have informal gatherings. And these past 3 months has been a journey of its own, but my gift or my message to take away from here is just two very key messages. And one is about the importance of being knowledge carriers and the importance of sharing this knowledge. I feel like over the last 3 months, we have filled our bowl with so much knowledge, and it's about time that we reflect and recognize the importance of sharing this knowledge with our community members in a way that is meaningful to them, in a way that they can take forward the inspiration that we have gained from this fellowship. The second thing is about the memories that we have created, both within this our Saturday meets and also outside, that it is weaved into our DNA. And I would like to take this time and recognize that we are brought into these spaces for a reason. And the reason is that we are recognized as powerful agents of change. So not forgetting that our leaders, the Council of Elders, the design team have seen that potential in you. And as custodians of this knowledge, if we can continue embracing that vision or their vision for us by imparting these memories, not only with our children and our young ones, but also with our everyday family members and friends as well. So big vinaka vakalevu to everyone, and thank you and congratulations, class of 2020.
Vinaka, Michael, and yeah, thank you everybody for sharing, and congratulations to you all. Congratulations on being successful participants of the first ever Pacific Power Up Fellowship cohort. Thank you. And we're gonna go into a short break with a performance from the Pacifica Voices coming right up in a minute. No, in a second.
We leave our islands in search for a paradise, and through the rough seas and the burning sun, we realize that we are one. We leave our islands in search for a paradise, and through the rough seas and the burning sun, we realize that we are one. In tears we'll song, in joy we'll read. Mana Pacifica, Mana Pacifica. In tears we'll song, in joy we'll read. Go forth, for there are two eyes with us. In tears we song, in joy we'll read. Mana Pacifica, Mana Pacifica. In tears we song, in joy we'll read. Go forth, for there are two eyes with us. Go forth, for there are two eyes with us.
thank you to the Pacifica Voices. They've been a part of our story for what is like the longest time. And I think the beauty of their music is that in their singing, you hear the voices of our elders. And it's such a perfect piece to be going into this next part into, because it's important that we always think of the voices of our elders and bring them into this space, because it's important that we hold them as we move forward, because it's that time. It's that time for us to look forward and to think big, to think of the ways you can pour your learnings and experiences into your teams, to think innovation, to think how can we continue to bring new ideas into organizing. The strength of our movement comes in its capacity to reflect the current times. So this is our job now, to constantly think of ways we are shifting and changing with the landscape and the times we're living in. So take all these tools and resources, take all the relationships you built in this cohort and share them with your teams. Prepare them for the season of the Matangi Malohi. And as we look towards September, where we're planning some big things, you will all be called to step up in a big way. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our third and final round of graduates. And just in case you haven't figured out, we are going in alphabetical order. And if it doesn't make sense, it's because we're going in alphabetical order by surname. So in our final group of graduates, we have Anna and Isaac and Ali and Jobert, Moevasa, Chris Tenisio, Lofa, Folole, Iamaima, and Moenga. You were asked to bring a bilo or something that represents one. Our cover ceremony marked this milestone, and now it's your turn to consume from our shared cover bowl. I invite you all to share your final reflections on this journey, how your bilo has been filled, and how you hope to fill others' bilo. To kick this group off, I invite Anna.
Malole, everyone. Hi, I'm sorry. I actually have a little bowl because I don't have a ipukava here at home. That's with my family. But I actually wrote down notes as well. Otherwise, I'll end up rambling or getting emotional. So I just wanted to say a special thank yous to every single person in the design team, Council of Elders, and everyone who was a part of the organizing, the planning and the delivery of this fellowship. I really appreciate it, all that you have done for us. And thank you so much to Pui, my brother from Melbourne, our Melbourne team, for this journey. That we're both pretty new to our team. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey, Pui, and to our leaders as well, Flo and Council of Elder Jay. And especially shout out to my PPUF girls. So Sim, Jenny, Sike and Paula. Thank you so much, guys. It's been such an honor to journey with you guys really closely. And I'm so sorry I didn't get to connect closely with all of you, but I would love to in the future and can't wait to meet you all after this sometime in the future. So my bilo or my pukava was filled up in so many ways, but to make it short, so there's just so much knowledge and skills, tools and resources that it was filled up with. So I hope that by educating myself with all of this and equipping myself, I hope to pass this on to others within our team in Melbourne and in any space that I go to, especially within the climate movement. And all the continuous love, support, empowerment and affirmations from every single one of you, I really appreciate. And it's really just given me, especially during this time, it's given me energy, perseverance, and really motivated me to keep going in my climate journey. So thank you so much. And I think the biggest one for me has been your stories, experiences, of your voices, and our fellowship overall has really helped me remain connected to my culture, land, our people, and our cause and everything that we do within the climate movement, especially during this time of isolation. My family's actually staying in a different state. So thank you so much. It's really like brought a sense of community and family, especially living by myself. So I really appreciate that as well. Something I want to share with all of you was a Tongan proverb. Hopefully I'm explaining this right to my Tongan speakers. But the Tongan proverb is "Si'ipe kai ha," and so it means we are small but we are significant. So I want to share this with you guys because I know we're all from islands and it can be easy to feel small or outnumbered, especially doing this work within our countries, away from our islands, and or speaking in spaces like COP. So although our islands may seem small in comparison to many other countries around the world, we are so rich in knowledge, culture, love, values, mana, and this is what makes our contribution to the world great, especially when we unite together like in this fellowship. So, malo pito tu au fatu.
Thank you, Anna. I would now like to invite Isaac.
Thank you, Joe. First and foremost, I must express my gratitude for the organising team for their hard work and their patience in dealing with us for the last 3 months. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed, and I'm super grateful and appreciative of all this space. And to everyone on this space, especially my team, the Dream Team, I'm grateful for being able to spend the last 3 months with you. Just having an extended family all across the Pacific and all around the world is amazing. And although we're not together physically, having this online space is just proof that our mana, that our energy transcends the physical space, and we can feel it from wherever we are. And so here's Mambilo, and I'm grateful that I'm able to fill it up with all the warmth and the energy that I've had, especially in these trying times during COVID, where things have been difficult. It's been great to be able to ground myself weekly over these last 3 months. So I'm very grateful and appreciative of you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sake. Next up, I'd like to invite Ali.
Bulavinak, everyone. At the farm, I don't know if the connection here is really good, but I'll try my best. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate all my fellow warriors for graduating today. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to be among you all, to offer a few retrospective and forward-looking thoughts as we graduate from the Pacific Power Up Fellowship. I think we need not look far and wide to know that what we have experienced over the previous few months holds lasting value beyond this day for all of us. I became increasingly grateful, and I mentioned this before, to the group that I was part of, to have been selected to be part of this fellowship. And with each passing session, that sense of gratitude kept increasing. I had the opportunity to collaborate and brainstorm with an incredibly brilliant group of Pacific Climate Warriors from an array of diverse backgrounds and experiences. Shout out to Pacific Power Rangers. This fellowship also has led to a personal growth for me regarding the fundamentals of leadership, I would say. The fundamental shift for me was to consider what true leadership meant for me and to others. I absolutely love the life map session, and also realizing that organizing in the Pacific is meaningful and successful when we empower the local community to use what they already have in order to bring about the positive change that we want. Apart from that, I think that this leadership fellowship has been filled with moments of beautiful self-reflection and personal growth. I realized that I needed to challenge my personal belief systems that no longer serve me or I have outgrown. As a result, my confidence grew and my sense of self and purpose returned. And most importantly, being part of this gave me a sense of belonging, as it has been mentioned by multiple warriors. The biggest shift the program has created in me is that I want to be a Pacific Power leader, not one in the contemporary view, but one that upholds sustainable indigenous values
while being influential, inspirational, and strategic. Finally, I'm thankful to the Council of Elders, the 350 team, and my fellow peers in the Pacific Power Up Fellowship who inspire me to be authentic and to be a more courageous leader. This has been a distinct pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ali. I'd like to invite Moivasa.
Thanks, Joseph. My name is Waki o Pontabanan Kamauri na koimin kapen kamnavenin Maori. It has been a great honor for me personally as being part of this PCW family. I'd like to thank Ray, one of your Council of Elders, for nominating me into this family. And I do say family because we are a family. Our parents, our facilitators, our Council of Elders, and our design team, we've always made sure that the family is, that the event online runs smoothly. And man, those breakout rooms were like next level, eh? You guys. And our brothers and sisters who are all in this group. If you're happy with that, I will call you all my brothers and sisters. And also not forgetting my aunties and uncles in my base group. You guys, we love to muck around, but we always do our homework, guys. So yeah, so thank you to my base group, for Carlo, Jabod, Ali, and Joseph. You guys have also taught me a lot, seeing that I'm also new to this space. And I do relate myself to Moses in the Bible, where I always say, what have I got to offer? I have no experience at all. But just being part of this family really helped me to just, like Ali said, personal growth. And I think that we all have our own unique stories to share. We just don't know that it's there. But once we do find it, and start sharing it to others, it can be very powerful and it can move people. What I have to offer to you guys is my time. I'm always very enthusiastic and energetic if you have something that you want me to help you with or to be part of. And that's something that I can offer to you guys in thanks for your time as well. And I do hope that I can be I do hope I can share my stories in the future and make PCW proud. Also, just a quick story. During my time here in the last 3 months, I've had so much support. Special shout out to Ina, who called me one day and said, hey, can we do an interview with you on the radio for a story that you illustrated and authored as well. So thank you, Ina, for putting me on the spot and putting me out there into the deep. And also thank you to, special thanks to Carlo as well, who just put me in a Zoom interview about climate change, and I had no idea how it was my first time, but thanks for the experience. So I did experience a lot of things during my time here. And I think last of all, I just want to put a special blessings from our Kirpas tradition, giving you health, peace, and prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Moivasa. I'd like to invite Chris.
Hi everyone. Malole soifua malirangi mama. Olo ingoa Christopher James Falealili Tenisio. O te sao mai no Fali'i ana ma sapungawa Falealili Samoa. And I'm a Pacific Climate Warrior. Let's go. I'd like to thank our Heavenly Father for his constant protection and wisdom. And also for giving us these opportunities to learn, connect, and grow alongside my international ainga. This is my first time graduating from anything. Thank you. To the design team, your work does not go unnoticed, and the effort and breath that you breathe into us is extremely valuable and needed. And thank you so much. My ipu over here was a wedding favor from my uncle. I met my uncle at his wedding for the first time, so cheers to him. But my ipu has been filled with some much needed skills, tools, friendships, networks, learnings, and lots of love from all of you here. I aim to take what I've learned on this platform and utilize these tools to uplift the community I currently reside in, Mangere, South Auckland, 275. Yeah, people and networks such as this are not a common commodity in my community. And if I can connect how we learn here to the people I serve here in South Auckland, I can guarantee that moves will be made. But to my cohort, my dream team, and fellow Pacific Climate Warriors, I just want to say, malole ongasai, malole whamalosi, malole tautai, manuele life, manuele spirit, let's go.
Thank you, Chris. And to round off our group, I'm going to invite Moenga.
I wish I went first like you, Galo. It's so hard going last after so many incredible speakers. Talofa love everyone. I'm Moy. I've just written something small, short and sweet. So I also wanted to say thank you to the organizing and design team for this well thought out, prepared and incredible fellowship. I really did enjoy the way it was structured, and I loved being able to connect with like-minded people each week. It has been an absolute privilege to learn from the entire team, to do our breakout groups and get to connect with our international family. Has been so good. I also wanted to thank my team who are absent today, Team Ya, Team Young at Heart, Mary from Wellington and Billy as well. It's been so good. I had met them before, but just to connect with them, do our homework together, everything like that has been awesome. But as they were away sometimes, I was in breakout groups with Sike and Lofatani. So I want to say shout out to you guys, because this is the first time I've met them both, and yeah, lots in common. So I can't wait to meet you guys in real life. It's been so good to just connect with everyone, and in a time of uncertainty for me, especially in my personal life for the last 3 months, where I also didn't have a B-law either, but there are times where I thought my bowl was half empty. And so being in this every Saturday and knowing I got to be in this space, it was so good for me, because then I look at my bowl half full instead of half empty. So it meant more to me than you guys know. It also ignited and fueled my passion for climate change and also for my culture. So thank you all so much. I love you guys. You're my family. Can't wait to see you all in real life.
Thank you, Moenga. So that rounds off the final rounds of graduates of the fellowship, and congratulations to you all. Congratulations on being successful participants of the first ever Pacific Power Fellowship cohort. Yeah. I'd now like to invite Jay, who's going to say some few words. Mama Jay.
Ooh, thanks, Papa Joe. Yes, congratulations to all our recipients today. The growth in all of you has really come through in all the beautiful stories and speeches that everyone has shared. Thank you for being on this journey. Some of you have been in these spaces before, others, this was a first. And the outcome has been rewarding for all of us, especially to the team who designed, facilitated, and produced a successful first of its kind online program. It is my pleasure to introduce this special award to a champion in this cohort. They have been to 5 COPs. They coordinate the Pacific Islands Climate Action Network, known as PCAN, has won almost every award USP has to offer, and apparently now all the 350 Pacific Awards. So with the 100% attendance for this fellowship, they have single-handedly debunked all the myths associated with island time. These achievements remind me of a song that Fenton once described, used to describe this person. Don't be fooled by the rockets that she's got. She is still Jenny from the block. This rocket of an award represents the many trips to the stars that have mapped out an incredible journey of their activism, and it's a constellation that offers us a guide to leadership. Join me in congratulating our very own Jenny from the block, aka Mafia Queen, Genevieve Jenny Jiva.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone. This has been, I was not expecting that introduction. So I'm very grateful. And now you know that I have no life on Saturdays because I was able to come to all of these for 3 months. So I've prepared a short commencement address to thank the design team. And especially, I'm especially grateful to be able to give this on behalf of the cohort. Excuse me. Sorry. I'll try not to cry. So the late, great Teresia Tewa wrote that we must not stop our investigations, explorations, ruminations in Pacific studies simply because the world marketplace of knowledge does not value this region as we do. She is one of many Pacific giants that we stand on the shoulders of, who reinforce that the Pacific is not small or powerless. Ours is a region with over 1,200 indigenous languages and 20,000 islands spread over a third of the Earth's surface. Connected by the ocean, we are all fighting to preserve our homes, cultural heritage, and history for ourselves and for those who will come after. And what an incredible fellowship to have been part of, inspired and empowered by Pacific Islanders, for Pacific Islanders. The design team, the Council of Elders, guest speakers, and fellow cohort members all made this an amazing, amazing experience. We began this journey together over 3 months ago, and we're all leaving with full baskets and strengthened friendships. And there is so much to be thankful for from everyone involved. I'd like to start by thanking the design team. When I was asked to co-present for the COP session, I got a glimpse behind the curtains to see all that goes into the preparations. Daily planning meetings, slide preparations, rehearsals, resources, reminders, and with all of that planning, the courage to be flexible to change things on the day. Along with the Saturday sessions, we also had the opportunity to learn from the Kavaba for those interested in facilitation, the Friday Talanoas, the base group interactions, and everyone's favorite, homework. The design team have done an amazing job. Thank you. But of course, all that planning, time, and effort paid off thanks to this year's PUF cohort 2020. Thank you to the graduates for your perseverance and commitment. Thank you to the support systems in your life that made your participation possible. From being able to be present on weekends, finding good internet connections, joining in from the road or your workplace, checking in with your base groups, catching up online on sessions that you missed, sending your homework, and most importantly, finding something that matched the fashion theme that week. Today, we get to celebrate. Tomorrow, we take our full bilos, baskets, and hats, and go out into the world, sharing the tools and knowledge that we have learned, using it in our ongoing fight against the climate crisis, and continuing to be in community with each other. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Jenny. That was such a beautiful offering from on behalf of the cohort. And I think I would like to end with a few words of thanks from the Council of Elders and behalf of our Pacific Climate Warriors team for all of you here today. Thank you so much for showing up for this past 3 months. And one offering I'd like to give is an alanga upu Samoa, which is one of my favorites, and it is utu'u ma'a ae ma'a I a'au, which means the crab left the stone and took a bit of the reef. We've always known that we're connected by the moana, and through this fellowship and through this cohort, we've been able to be nourished by the same reef. I hope we leave this space and take with us a bit of this reef. This space is what we've been able to share within. It's been able to nourish us. And now we are able to leave with a bit of it, with shells, or in Samoa we call it atingi, which are our learnings, reflections, tools, and connection. For the first 3 years of my life, I had never been to Samoa. So I was born in New Zealand and I'd never been home. And when I would ask about home, my auntie one time gave me a shell, Auntie Jody, and she said, "Put the shell against your ear and listen for the waves. That is your home." And I remember as a little girl listening and trying to hear what that sounded like, trying to hear the Pacific voice that the shell was calling. That was my home. And that is what we are able to take away from this. As we take shells away from this power up, we are able to stay connected with each other because we all have that connection through our shells, through our moana, and through that Pacific voice. Fenton shared earlier today that the Pacific voice is the body. And so we know that as long as we can hear each other, we can feel each other, even though we may be separate, we are able to connect through body, soul, and spirit. And so I want to remind you all of that connection as we finish this fellowship, is that as long as we can hear our voices and we can stay connected and we can reap the benefits that we were able to take from this reef that we were able to be on for the past 3 months, that will always be there by one another. Ina shared that this is the end of our fellowship, but not the end of our journey. And that is definitely true. We have just started this and we are ready to go on and conquer the world. There is so much that the world can learn from us as Pacific people. And we are so much bigger than what everyone thinks we are, because we are people of the moana, of the biggest ocean. And so I believe in our power, and I believe in all the strength that we will bring to this crisis that is climate change. And I believe in us to be the next change makers and to really do our ancestors proud and do our descendants even prouder. Minaka.
So congratulations. That rounds off our formal graduation ceremony for today. So maybe we can just